I have a word for you from God, but I want to share something that I experienced on yesterday. So I went to this particular restaurant, and I rolled up to the window, went to the drive-through speaker thing where you order, and I proceeded to tell them what I wanted. And so they was like, I don't think I have that, drive up. Okay, so I just drove up at this point. When I got to the window, it was an employee there, it was another employee, and then it was a manager. They were just standing there. Okay, so nobody came to the window. They were just standing there doing absolutely nothing at this point. There was nobody behind me, nobody up in line behind me. And so they were absolutely doing nothing at this point. So they were just standing on the floor. Then after a few minutes, like, I'm still sitting here waiting, watching them. So after a few minutes, you know, one of the employees took out her cell phone and she just started scrolling. And the other ones, the manager came over to her phone and the other employee, and they was just looking at her phone, laughing and talking about whatever. So I'm looking, okay, I'm still waiting. Mind you, I don't know what's going on because they just told me to pull around because they don't think they have what I wanted. And so, sat there. Okay, about a good 3-4 minutes went by. Okay, still sitting there. I'm watching them, you know, keep looking at me sitting at the window, but they're not acknowledging that I'm at the window. They never came to the window. They won't say anything. They just keep looking, and then going looking back at their phones and having a conversation, laughing and kiki and ha-ha. So I'm still sitting there. So about 5 more minutes, 6 more minutes went by, and now at this point I'm getting irritated because I don't like to be ignored. And so the least you can do when somebody pulls up to your place of establishment or walk into your establishment is acknowledge that you see them. Because nothing more irritates me than somebody ignoring me. Especially when I'm talking to you or waiting on you to respond to something I might have asked you. You know, ignore me. And so even through that, I sat there. They just kept looking back. And so after a while, the manager pulled out her phone and started looking in the phone and was scrolling and laughing and kiki and ha-has. I don't know what they were talking about. So they all looked at the window at me. Just kept standing there. So I'm still sitting there. And so I started saying, they trying to get me to flip out on them, but I'm not finna do it. I'm not about to do it. I said, Samara, don't do it. Don't do it. I just kept telling myself that don't do it. So I'm still sitting there. Another 2-3 minutes went by. They turned around, looked at me. Mind you, nobody was behind me in line. No, it wasn't any commotion going on inside. They wasn't walking around working. They were just standing there holding a conversation. So mind you, nobody's still behind me in the line. I'm still sitting there. So at this point, I'm very irritated. So I'm like, okay, when she do open this one, she about to hear it. You know, I'm about to read her rights. She about to hear it. And so I remember just still sitting there and keep telling myself, I said, Samara, don't do it. So I told my daughter, I said, please tell me, Samara, don't do it. And she just looked at me and she said, Samaria, don't do it. And I said, okay. I said, devil. I said, you're not about to have me flipping out and acting a fool. I said, even though she see me there, even though they see me there, even though they ain't even coming and acknowledge I'm sitting there, I said, don't do it because that's what the devil want. So I started saying, I said, devil, go on ahead, get up off me, leave me alone because I ain't about to flip out like you want me to. I said, I'm going to just sit here and wait. So about another 5 minutes went by. I'm still, mind you, I'm at the drive-thru of a restaurant. I'm still sitting there waiting. And so she happened to lean up against the window and it opened. And so she just happened to look back and she just turned back around and was acting like she was rubbing in the back of her head. Never said anything. I'm still waiting. Mind you, I told you, they just told me to pull around because they said they don't think they had what I wanted. So she's still rubbing in her head like this and with her back to the window. Her back is to me. She doing like this. And so I'm still sitting there waiting. And so at this point, I said, okay, when she comes to this window, I'm about to let her have it. So a few minutes later, I seen she had a bag in her hand. So she turned around. She kind of like, it was kind of like they were provoking me to say something, to act out. You know, all those times they kept looking at me. And so this time, it's kind of like she turned to the side where I could see that she had a bag in her hand. But she still didn't come to the window. She held onto the bag for like another 2 or 3 minutes. And just stood there. And then so finally, I heard the window open. And I didn't even look up at the second. So I sat there for about a good 5 seconds before I even looked up. She didn't say anything. She just had the bag in her hand. And so I happened to look up. And so we had a blank stare. I stared at her for about a good 10 seconds. I didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. And I remember telling myself again, Samaria, don't do it. And so she looked, and I said, is that mine? And she said yes, and she handed me the bag. And I said thank you, and I smiled, and I drove off. In that moment, the enemy wants you to flip out, lose your mind, go back to your old ways, disrupt your life. But I wasn't going to allow that. Yes, in the midst of me sitting there waiting, I felt all kind of emotions. I felt like I was about to let her have it. I felt like, why are they trying me today? I felt like, I know they see me sitting here. They done look at me how many times. Like, why are they trying me like this? Like, what? I just came here simply to get what I wanted from off the menu and go about my business. But why y'all sitting provoking me, not acknowledging that I'm sitting at your window, not saying nothing? Even when you opened the window to hand me the bag, you didn't even say anything. I said, have a good day, thank you. You ain't even say anything. I just went on about my business. But in that, I was reading this, and I had to share that experience because it went right along with this word. So it's called one word. And this is a word specifically from God because, like I said, it came right when, I began to speak about the situation. So at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Some days leave you feeling like Dorothy, spinning around in the middle of a tornado and terrified that you're going to fall at any moment. When this happens, whisper my name, Jesus. That one simple word will help you remember that I am right beside you. One simple word declares that you know I am Lord of all and in control of all. One word opens your heart to my power and peace in the middle of the storm. Always remember, I'm only one word away. God. So like I said, that right there, like I said, in the middle of a tornado, when you terrified or you going through and you just afraid that you're going to fall in that moment. And in that moment, I didn't want to fall. I was very irritated. But at the same time, I said, devil, you is not about to do this to me. Samaria, don't do it. So I just kept coaching myself, Samaria, don't do it. You not fitting the windows, devil. Go on here, leave me alone. So the whole time, like I said, I coached myself doing that. I didn't say anything because of that. So whatever situations may provoke you to act outside yourself or outside of what God has called you to do or who God has called you to be, do not fall short to that, because not only is God going to deal with that person, God is going to deal with you. So because somebody does something to us or acts a certain way towards us does not mean we have to act out the way we used to act out. Okay, I'm not saying don't say anything at all, because I did say something to her. I said, is it mine? Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Although I said it, she didn't respond. But I felt good at the end of that because I didn't get myself all upset and carry on or none of that, because I chose the right way. And the right way was, Samaria, don't do it. Which meant, Samaria, be quiet. One of the most valuable lessons I have learned, and I learned it through a lot of experiences, by opening my mouth saying some stuff and carrying on with people, because I had to get my point across. You was going to hear it from me if you was doing something that I didn't appreciate. And so because I didn't appreciate them ignoring me at that moment, I decided to take a different route. I decided not to act out. I decided to be happy that day. I decided not to give the devil any attention from me, any energy from me. So whatever is going on in your life, or the people in your life and you causing chaos, or, just trying to get you to act out, y'all, seek God in the midst of that moment, because it says right here, that one simple word, call his name. He said, whisper my name. That one simple word. He said that one simple word will help you remember that I am right beside you. That one simple word will help you declare that you know that I am God and I'm in control. So in that moment, I knew God was in control when I decided to keep telling myself, Samaria, don't do it. Samaria, don't do it. Samaria, don't do it. And so, yeah, y'all. I just wanted to share that. I hope that teaches and reaches the right person to let them know, don't react. Don't give the devil what he wants and cause you to act outside of who God has called you to be. Love y'all.